I wanna know what enclosure is. I know this game can show me. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Enclosure. So, when we last left off, things got a little bit spooky with the appearance of these oil stains here. Not really, not exactly the kind of thing that I had too many nightmares about over the past few days, but it's a little bit different from rabbits picking flowers and unicorns climbing rainbows. Anyway, so what we have actually at this point in the game is one of those puzzles where the plot only advances when you've talked to all the people that you need to talk to. You might remember previously we went into William's room, William being the guy who actually convinced us to go on this trip to this station in the first place. I think William's room was it? Yeah, here we go.
It all sounds so incredible, William.
Yeah, we seem to have interrupted the conversation. We did this before, and I think there are a few different things that I think that the rest of those dialogue boxes are the same each time, but there are a few different things that the blonde woman, see now she says,
Quite horrific, if you ask me, William.
I think her name is Lisa. I always forget names, but I think that's Lisa talking to William. Anyway, so that's obviously Lisa here on the right, and then she's talking to William, the guy who got us to come here. So, but I think the rest of these messages are the same. But the point is, William says, meet me in your apartment later on. There's something I want to tell you. So we do need to meet him in our apartment. But before he'll meet us in our apartment, we need to talk to people. We've already talked to most of the people, but there are a couple that we didn't talk to. One that we did not talk to is in the tower. You remember before we went up that big observation tower and saw the storm beneath us? Or actually, we didn't really see the storm. I mean, we didn't really see the storm on screen. The game didn't actually render it on the screen, but the game, not here. I always get a little bit turned around because the game does occasionally turn around things a little bit. I guess not that much, but I must just be bad with directions because I always think that, yeah, here we go. Here should be the place where you get to the, yeah, here we go. Here's the ladder up to the observation deck, so climb ladder. Excuse me. And here we go. You almost can't see him at first because he's a little bit inconspicuous, but that there is Chin Sung Lee, paranormal scientist. So we finally get to speak to our paranormal scientist after all this time. You're in the watchtower. Dr. Lee is also here. Can we just say talk to Lee?
Ah, Mr. Goodman, I didn't hear you come up.
I thought you were sleeping, Dr. Lee. It sure looked like that.
Actually, I was meditating. I always meditate at this time of day to purify my thoughts.
Okay. Can we talk to him some more?
You like meditating here, Dr. Lee?
I sure do, Mr. Goodman. The view is great.
It sure is, Dr. Lee. And please call me Mike.
Mike it is, then.
Are you supposed to... Aren't you supposed to kneel or adopt the lotus position when you're meditating, or is he actually... Because I can't see his lower body, I can't really tell if he actually is in some position like that, but I think that he would be... I mean, Mike is here like that, and I don't think that... I mean, if Dr. Lee is in a lotus position, then he must be tremendously tall because he's as tall as Mike is in this stance. So I think that he must be standing up. I don't think that you're supposed to meditate while standing up, but what do I know? I'm not really not an expert on meditation, unfortunately. So I'll take the game's word for it that that's how you meditate.
Why did William Mayfield invite you to this expedition, Dr. Lee?
My profession is that of a paranormal scientist. I've dedicated many years of my life to the paranormal.
What does a paranormal scientist do precisely?
I try to explain the paranormal as a pure scientific phenomenon. Apparitions are nothing more than energy fields left behind by the deceased.
That's quite an interesting theory, Dr. Lee.
Thank you.
Oh, he calls us Mike-san. Or is that Mike-san or Mika-san? Oh, and we even got points for having him call us Mike-san or Mika-san.
Arigato.
Did you pick up any spiritual signals yet, Dr. Lee?
It's not that kind of meditation, Mike. I think of nothing and thereby purify my body and soul. You can do that. Oh, you can do that. The thinking of nothing part, I mean.
Are you going to the seance later on, Dr. Lee?
Yes, Mike-san. Mr. Carter invited me at breakfast.
Great. I'll see you there then.
Yes, see you there. Was there supposed to be something else? The message ended with ... which led me to assume that there was supposed to be something. I guess that means until the... Okay, anyway.
Dr. Lee? Never mind.
Okay, I think that's the end of that. So let's go ahead and climb back down the ladder. We can evacuate this observation tower. So that's pretty much it. The other person whom we haven't talked to yet is Ben, because I unbelievably forgot to talk to Ben, the biological biological scientist gardener guy with all the plants in his room. I can't believe I forgot to do that. I was so taken with his plans. You know, that plant that killed us, the plant that caused Mike's head to split open and his brain to start floating on a water fountain that was spouting out of his head. That guy, I forgot to talk to him when I was in his room, and so we need to talk to him before we can proceed. This is Dr. Lee's room. Which room was... This is our room that we share with our girlfriend. Was it here? Yes, here we go. Okay. This is the room of Ben Green, and he's watering the plants. But what I forgot to do is talk to him, incredibly enough. I can't believe I forgot to do that. I did a lot of looking around and even got killed by that plant up there. That was, I think it was this plant here that killed us. But then I forgot to talk to the guy, so let's go ahead and talk to him now.
Oh, we want to get a little closer to him, do we now? All right.
I don't think that good day is one word. I have a feeling that this game is, I think I said it before, I have a feeling this game is Dutch, just based on things like spelling like that, because isn't good day or something like that in Dutch just one word like that? Anyway, good day, Mr. Green. Oh, that's us, sorry.
Good day, Mr. Green. Watering the plants?
I sure am, Mike. It's Ben, by the way.
Ben, by the way? I thought your name was Ben Green. Law, so funny. I made a joke. Look, Ma, I made a joke. I'm a funny guy.
Ben Green decides to ignore your last remark. Wisely so.
You're giving that plant a lot of water, aren't you?
This plant needs a lot of water, Mike. Its thorns will weaken if I forget to water it.
How often do you water it?
Every hour, Mike. This plant needs a lot of attention. It has ruined my sex life, however. Well, folks, this has been Enclosure. Let's never play this game again. End of video. No. I guess we should continue, but I really don't need to hear details about... Yes, just pretend you didn't hear that. That's good advice. I mean, if this guy were, let's say... I mean, I'm just trying to get a picture of him. Okay, if this guy were about 5,000 years younger and tall and, most importantly, female, then that would be okay. But those kinds of details coming from Ben Green, biochemist, are details that we can just as well live without. I think that we could live very well the rest of our days without these details from Mr. Ben Green, biochemist. Anyway, moving on. Wait, no, I want to talk to him some more.
What's your part in this expedition, Bam?
I met William Mayfield at a science convention. He told me about the station Mary and about its history. I got intrigued.
But you're a biochemist. I don't get the connection.
Well, I'm known for my theories about ghosts and environment and their relative link. I'm convinced that these sightings are due to the cold environment here.
Okay, that's kind of stretching it a bit, but hey, it's Enclosure. Let's play Enclosure.
That's quite the theory. That was my reaction as well.
All right, can we talk to Ben some more?
What's with that big tree in the corner there?
You mean the Abso tree? It's a Japanese tree. They're very rare.
What's that hanging from its trunk, Ben?
It's a piece of Abso fruit. I use it to keep off those ants in that ant farm while feeding.
How's that?
Simple. You rub the fruit on your arm, and when you refill the trough, the scent of the fruit will avert the ants.
Is this supposed to be a... The way that it's in parentheses like that, I'm trying to figure out, is that Mike talking to himself, or is he speaking to Ben Green, biochemist? I don't know. Rubbing fruit in your body, that sounds
rather spacey to me.
Lol, joke about Space Quest 2, because, you know, there's that scene in Space Quest 2 where you're getting tired waiting for William. Maybe he's done talking to Lisa. Ah, that's a nice hint. It's nice at least that the game gives you a hint that when you've talked to enough people, then you can now go to your room and talk to William. Let's see, does Ben have anything more to say?
Does it need more water still, Ben?
Yes, Mike, it does.
All right. That was the end of that. Let's go ahead and now we can go back to our room, which, if I remember right, was just down here. And now we go ahead and let me actually save just before doing this. Not because it's dangerous, but just because we're about to have a cutscene, and the cutscene is a little bit, well, you'll see. It's a little long. Here we go. Here's William in our room. There you are, Mike.
You want to tell me something, William?
Yes, Mike, and it's quite the story. I told it to everyone else already. You and Sarah are the last two.
Let's hear it, Mr. Mayfield.
Okay. It all began when my father was searching for a place to make his first drill for oil.
You know, I'm going to turn down the game's sound just a little bit because this music is kind of piercing. I hope that's quiet enough.
Okay, can somebody tell me what the problem is here?
My father said.
Why aren't you men working?
One of the train guards cleared his throat and said, "This man refuses to leave his spot, Mr. Mayfield. He says this is his land."
What do you mean, native? Why do you think you can claim my land?
My father said to the kneeling man. The Eskimo... Isn't it politically incorrect these days to say Eskimo? Aren't you supposed to say Inuit instead? All right. The person of native Arctic descent looked up and answered,
"This is not your land, sir. I inherited this land from my ancestors. You have no right taking it."
My father wasn't a bad person, Mike, but when he wanted something, he surely was going to get it.
Well, it's my land now. Go worship land somewhere else. There's enough snow around here, so that shouldn't be a problem,
my father said.
The Eskimo remained calm. "I'm sorry, sir, but I can't let you take this land."
My father was losing his I see a lot of people do this. I don't understand how hard is it to spell losing. It's spelled with one O. I cannot believe how many people spell losing with two O's like this. It's spelled with one O. It's not loosing. That's not even really a word. I mean, you might think it means to make something looser, but that's loosening. Loosing, as far as I know, is not a word. It's losing with one O. Come on, people. It's not that hard. It's not
you know, we can all get along. We can all learn to write English in the socialist way. My father was losing his patience.
Listen up, fish eater. I don't care what you think. Tomorrow we'll begin our first drilling with 2 exclamation marks.
And having said these words, my father turned around. As far as he was concerned, the conversation was over. I guess it was over because it's hard to have a conversation at that range. But the Eskimo refused to leave. For days he didn't move, staying kneeled in the cold snow. Whoa. Whoa, that truck went fast. Whoa, that was kind of dangerous driving a truck like that quickly between these people in snowy and icy environments like this. My father later told me that he really had much admiration for the Eskimos' perseverance and his steadfastness. But my father was a very stubborn man, and he refused to give in. But then... Sir, could you come over here for a second? One of the guards said.
What is it? My father said.
I don't think the Eskimo is still breathing, sir, the guard said.
My father examined the Eskimo.
My golly gosh, you're right. He's frozen stiff. Again with 2 exclamation marks. That means he's really frozen stiff, because if I'd only use 1 exclamation mark, that's only slightly frozen stiff. That stubborn snow lurcher, now he's dead. That angers me somewhat.
Father was furious, but mostly because he was feeling responsible for the Eskimo's death, I guess. My father ordered to bury the body, and the whole incident was soon forgotten.
Until the sightings began?
That's right, Sarah. The ghost that people saw back then was that of
An Eskimo? I mean, a person of northern, native, Arctic descent?
Correct.
I'm not sure who's saying this. Is this Sarah or Mike? I'll assume that it's Mike.
That's one heck of a story, William.
Yes, I guessed correctly. It was Mike. I know, Mike. I just wanted you both to understand my urge to come here. I want to give this Eskimo, if he exists, his peace by not calling him an Eskimo anymore.
I don't know if this is Mike or Sarah talking.
We understand, William. We'll help you any way we can.
Thank you both. I'm going to see Frank now. I haven't seen that grumpy young man at all this morning. Ha ha. William Mayfield leaves the room. You can clearly see Sarah's a bit upset by the whole story. You decide to comfort her a bit. Oh dear. This is going bad places, isn't it? Yes, that very quickly went very bad places. Knowing this is... Okay, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not... I don't consider myself a prude. I'm not like the kind of person who gets bothered by sex, but you could be a little bit more... You could maybe be just a little bit more tactful than this about it. I mean, it's not like... Okay, let's just move on. I mean, I don't want to make a big deal out of it. It's not a big deal, but I mean, come on. You could do a little better than that, couldn't you? As usual, you fall asleep afterwards. When you awake, Sarah's already gone. You shower, get dressed, and decide to explore some more. All right. Let's see. Is there anything we can do here in our room? Can we look at the computer again? No, it's still the same screensaver from that previous game, Hank's Quest, Victim of Society. I guess that's it. Can we take a shower? Oh, we just did take a shower. I think the game told us in the message that we took a shower. Can we take another shower? Okay, apparently not. I guess there's not much to do except go outside. Oh, this is, it's Owen.
Hey, Mike, I was just looking for you. You remember I told you about the seance? Yes, Owen, I do. I was hoping you could do me a favor. Spill it. There are some items I need to call upon the Eskimo spirit William told us about. Could you find them for me while I prepare the laboratory for the seance? That's fine with me. What do you need?
First of all, I need some candles. Second, some ashes. And finally, a small amount of blood, non-human preferably.
Well, my goodness, Owen, the first two items I can manage, but blood? Where do I find blood in this station?
I don't know, Mike. Just try to find some, please. I'd be grateful.
Sigh. Okay, I'll try.
Thanks, Mike. You're the best. Well, he said it's preferably non-human blood, but preferably doesn't mean necessarily, so if it can be human blood, why doesn't somebody just, prick your finger or something? And, I mean, how much blood do you need? Do you need, like, a few thousand liters of it? Or, I think he said a small amount of blood. What's a small amount? Just a couple of milliliters? Or, can we just prick our finger? Well, I would say that this is very innocent and naive of the game to ask such a question. But after we just witnessed that message capping off the previous cutscene, it's kind of hard to make such a case. Okay, so we need three things: we need ashes, we need blood, and we need a candle. You might think that the ashes and the candle go together because they're both things that come from burning, but actually that's not really true. Ashes come from burning, but candles are from before burning, not after. After you burn a candle, you don't have the candle anymore. Anyway, we need those three things. The ashes are pretty straightforward. You get them from something that burns. And what have we seen that's burning? We have seen, if I can find it, if I can remember where it is. Obviously not here. Was it up here or? I'm so bad with directions. It clearly was not here. I probably passed it already. It probably was down here then. Oh, this room is locked. Oh, is that? Oh, that's Ben Green's room then, I think, because Ben Green keeps this room locked. Okay, then it was probably here. Yes, finally. So those things that I thought were teacups are actually, as I later clarified, they are in fact incense pots. Yes, so the ashes make a terrible mess, but now we can get the ashes. Okay. You carefully wipe together some of the ashes and put them in your pocket. Also, I don't think that a pocket is a very good holding medium for ashes. You should probably have a plastic bag or something like that. If we press F4, we can see the ashes. This is a small pile of ashes. It still has its strong odor. Thank you for spelling "its" correctly without an apostrophe. All right, we already have the ashes. Now we just need a candle and some blood. So let's see. I guess we can do a little bit of wandering around, except not really, because I kind of have some idea of where we're supposed to go. If I remember right, we're supposed to go to the kitchen or the dining area or something like that. And the dining area is, I think, right here. Yeah, okay. Whom do we have here? There's William again. That's Frank Bates, head of security. And that's what's on the stove. Can we talk to these people?
Hey, Watson, how about a drinky drink?
Hi, Mike, what can I get you?
A soda would be nice, Watson.
A soda? Is this game child-centered or something?
No, Watson. I just want a soda.
Okay, here you are. You drink your soda. Wow. That was anticlimactic, wasn't it? Can we talk to Watson some more?
Watson, are you eavesdropping on your customers?
Ha ha ha. Good one, Mike. Didn't know you were joking.
So you're a bartender as well, Watson.
Yes, Mike, and much, much more. Oh my. Well, golly gosh, I wasn't prepared for that.
I'm thinking about taking another drink.
Please do, Mike. What'll be?
No, never mind. I'll pass.
Whatever you say, Mike. All right. All right, let's come off of that and let's talk to Frank Bates. Another good day.
Good day, Mr. Bates. All is well, I hope.
Get lost, Goodman.
William Mayfield interrupts. Stop that childish behavior, Frank. I won't tolerate this useless wrangling on my expedition.
But, Bill...
I don't want to hear it, Frank. You and Mike just shake hands and make up. You offer Frank Bates your hand. Bates hesitates for a moment, but finally accepts it.
Okay, let's forget about what happened, Goodman.
That's okay, Frank. I'd like to.
What do you mean, what happened? I said hello to him. Are you serious? I said hi, and he starts freaking out and saying,
well, I'll forget about what happened this time.
Let's talk to him again. I'm glad things are back to normal.
Oh, boy. I've been foolish, Goodman. I get that from time to time.
That's all right, Frank. It's no use crying over spilled milk.
Hear ye, Goodman, hear ye.
Enjoying that drink, Frank?
I sure am, Goodman. Do you want a drink yourself?
Maybe later.
Okay, so yourself.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, Goodman.
Okay, I know this is silly, but I just want to see all the conversations that are...
Hi, William. I'm sorry to interrupt, but...
That's okay, Mike. What's on your mind? Yeah, this doesn't sound weird at all.
Do you know where I can get some blood around here?
Blood? Mike, have you gone vampire on me?
Yes. What was I thinking?
Yes. What were you? You've got to admit that question did... Well, yes, it did sound a bit silly.
That was quite a story you told me earlier, William.
Yes, it was, Mike, but I just wanted you to know.
I can imagine that. William, why is this station called Mary again?
My late father named it after my late mother.
Oh, yes. Now I remember, thanks.
You're welcome, Mike.
Excuse me, William.
Yes, Mike?
Never mind.
All right. I think this wasn't even where I was supposed to go. Aha, here, that's right. This is, okay, let's take a look around here in the kitchen. This is Watson's domain. Watson ought to clean this kitchen up. It's a bloody mess, quite literally. Yes, there is some blood there on the table from, I guess, some meat. And this has the advantage of also not being human blood. It's from some, well, I don't know what kind of animal it's from, but either some pig or cow or maybe a chicken or whatever that he prepared here. So, examining the board closely, learns us, really, that blood is red and violets are blue. Can we get the blood? Okay. You carefully scrape off some of the blood and fold it in a tissue. The tissue contains a small amount of blood, non-human preferably. Okay, don't think you get to choose if you... Yeah, okay. All right. Well, now it's almost time to go on another big adventure. But before we do that, I think, if I remember right, we're supposed to come down here. Yes, here is Lisa, right? Yes, Lisa McIntyre, spiritual guide, who has surrounded herself with some candles, and she is actually in a meditative kind of pose, unlike Dr. Lee, whom we saw earlier. Lisa McIntyre is busy meditating. She actually adopts the proper lotus position when she meditates. I guess maybe if Dr. Lee had been meditating in the tower, we would have just seen his head, and it would have been weird to see just his head floating above the windowsill, and it might have looked like somebody had decapitated him and left his head sitting on the windowsill. But no, it was not the case. But Lisa is actually properly kneeling or squatting or whatever on the floor. So can we talk to Lisa? I don't know if we should interrupt her in her meditative state, but let's see if...
Excuse me, Miss McIntyre?
Lisa McIntyre opens her eyes and looks at you.
Ah, it's you, Mr. Goodman. How can I be of service?
I was hoping you could tell me where you found those candles.
I brought them along myself, Mr. Goodman. Why, do you need candles?
As a matter of fact, I do. Could you spare a few?
These are all the candles I have right now, and I'm using them myself, as you can see.
Yes, I see. Let's talk to her some more. Is there any way I can persuade you in giving me those candles, Miss McIntyre?
It depends, Mr. Goodman.
Uh-oh, I don't like where this is going.
On what, Miss McIntyre?
On what you're willing to do for them, Mr. Goodman.
Yeah, definitely don't like the sound of this.
Oh,
Oh, good grief.
oh no, Miss McIntyre. I'm not that kind of man. I got a girlfriend.
And I've got a boyfriend at home, so what are you aiming at, Mr. Goodman?
What were you aiming at, Miss McIntyre?
Certainly no favors concerning bodily labor, Mr. Goodman. Please.
Okay, can you maybe clarify what you want from us then, since the game developers obviously have a dirty mind, and I mean, it's not like I'm one to talk, but come on. Can you tell me what you want?
I'm sorry, Miss McIntyre. I wasn't. I mean, you're...
It's okay, Mr. Goodman. It was just a mutual misunderstanding, I guess.
About the candles. What can I get you in exchange?
I'll trade them for Frank Bates.
Excuse me, Miss McIntyre?
Or a photograph of him, I should say. I know he has one in his luggage.
What's with you and Frank Bates?
Nothing. I just like Mr. Bates very much, that's all.
This is a very nice game to play, because if you think that you're a really creepy person, or if people call you creepy, then you can play this game and feel better about yourself, because you know that no matter how creepy you are, you will never be as creepy as this game. Not possible. That's all she says. She in love head over heels, I'll tell you. I doubt it. She said she has a boyfriend at home. I don't think she's in love with him. She probably wants the photograph for some kind of ritual that she's planning to perform regarding him. All right.
What about your boyfriend back home, Miss McIntyre?
He's just where you say he is. Back home.
So, a photo... Good grief, it just goes on and on. So, a photograph of Frank Bates, you say?
Yes, Mr. Goodman. Give me that and I'll give you my candles.
I mean, it's not necessarily that I mind long conversations, but that is just very awkward. It's not even that the dialogue is stilted. I mean, if it were just stilted, that would be just, I mean, I could just chalk that to maybe being amateur writers or not having, maybe not having English as a native language or something like that. I mean, that's definitely a possibility, but just the way that these characters creep on each other is just, I mean, gosh, I thought I was a creepy person. I mean, I am, but wow. Okay, we're almost at the end of the video, and I think what we have to do now is go outside. So let me just see, if we open the door, is that raving snowstorm? Apparently the raving snowstorm is gone, because we can step outside now. Luckily, the stormy weather has calmed down. It's safe to go out now. Can we, It's not very wise to face this kind of temperature not wearing your jacket, Mike. I'm going to guess that means we will probably... You feel your body getting colder and colder. That's not a good... Oh, now he's walking slower because he can't... You can barely move. Get back in, quick. Oh dear, I think it's too late already because he's already... Yep. Well, at least now your complexion matches your sneakers. And with that jaunty little bit of death music, I'll go ahead and end the video here. Next time, of course, we will put on our jacket before going outside and explore some of the world out here and see if we can maybe find Well, will we find a photo of Frank Bates out here, or will we find something else that helps us get a photo of Frank Bates? Or will we just find something completely different that circumvents that problem altogether? We'll find out next time, maybe in the next episode of Enclosure. I hope that you'll join me then, folks. Until then, ta-ta for now. Thanks for watching. I love you all. Mwah.